Guys, for any one of you, is this the first class or the first demo class that you guys are joining in? We also have registered students, but based on some of the requests, we are extending the demo classes for 2 more days. Do we have any new student here who is not registered with us? Is everyone registered? Yes or no in the chat section? Registered, I mean, you came in contact with me and I am, right. Nimisha is registered. We have Karthik, Madhavi, Govardhan, Nimisha, and Shanmuga Priyan as registered students for now. Uh, so, is there any student who is not among these five names that I just announced? Yeah, yeah. For Nalini, it's first class. So, Nalini, if you have any kind of queries, you can directly have a conversation with the instructor. Basha sir is our instructor. He is on the call. One second. Sir, are you in the class?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. So, so we also have few new students joining in apart from registered students. So even today, if you guys have any new queries related to the classes, you guys can post it. And for registered students, let me tell you, we will soon create your login credentials and provide access to our platform. Maybe in the end of the class, again, I will try to show the demo of the platform for the new students. Right. So all the recordings, materials, source codes will be available, and also, we are planning to conduct mock interviews during this course period. So it depends on your interest and how you guys are attending the classes, how you guys are completing the assignments and all. So based on that, we select our students and conduct mock interviews and train them in that interview scenarios as well, right? So, and one more, so Bhaskar sir, if you allow me for 5 minutes, I just want to have a discussion with these guys. So is that fine with you?
Yes, yes. Yeah.
So, guys, there is another thing that we are also planning. What we are planning is regarding the weekend classes. Weekend classes, I mean, on Friday or Saturday, or on Saturday and Sunday, for 4 hours. That is 2 hours on one day and 2 hours on the other day. And then remaining week, we will be involved in assignments or mock tests or mock interviews. We are trying to plan this kind of structure instead of classes conducting classes every weekday. What if we conduct classes on weekends, 2 days, 2 hours each day, and then remaining weekdays we help students to practice more on those classes, like attending tests, completing the assignments, assisting in assignments, right? Assisting in mock interviews. We are also planning this kind of structure. How many of you guys are favored to this kind of structure is what I want to know. You guys can unmute yourself and have a chat, or you can just type in the chat section yes or no, or your feedback. This is just a plan that we have in our minds to conduct weekend classes, and then in weekdays to conduct mock interviews, mock tests, assignments, assistive inquiries is what we also have in mind. So either way is fine, but we are. I personally prefer that weekend classes and then practicing on weekdays will definitely bring some result to students, because it will not also be a overburden for most of us, right? Attending classes on every weekday, and on weekdays what we can do is practice for mock interviews, and weekends we can practice on the subject theory part and all. Yeah, timing part, mostly it will be this timing or 1 hour prior to that. All right, sir. Maybe 6:30 now. Maybe we can do 5:30 p.m. EST or 6 p.m. EST
Yeah.
till 8 p.m. EST. Um, am I right on that?
Yes, yes, yes. Based on the daylight saving. Sorry
Yeah,
for that. Like my throat is not proper due
yeah,
to back-to-back meetings and climate. Yeah,
yeah.
this will be the weekend structure will be 2 2 hours. Saturday 2 2 hours. Like my Saturday 2 hours Sunday. Like for your Friday 2 hours, Saturday 2 hours. Timings will be similar to this only. Half an hour or 1 hour before that.
Okay, so maybe in Indian timing we have like 5 a.m. here. So for them it's 6:30 p.m. EST. Maybe we can do 6 a.m. 6 p.m. EST, right? That is half an hour before this class, half an hour before this duration. Yeah, same timings, guys. Almost there will be a difference of half an hour there and here, but we'll be surrounding the classes during the same duration. So just let me know in the chat section if you guys are fine with it. This is just an idea from the team that we have from Plural Labs, just to train our students more on the subject rather than just on the live classes, right? So Karthik says, fine. Nimisha says, what are the timings? I'm also okay with classes on weekend. Nimisha says also okay with classes. Madhavi also, weekend difficult for me. I prefer weekdays, is what Madhavi says. Got it. What about other two students who registered with us?
Yeah, like I'm good with weekend. Maybe like I would suggest we can add one more day in the weekday for having the class.
Yeah, that maybe as we progress, instructor will take the decision on when to conduct the class, right? So he will take the decision based on the situation, based on how students are progressing, where more focus is required. Based on that, instructor will take the call. Yeah, we also have plan for that, but we are
Okay.
just seeing if all students are flexible with that kind of timing.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I'm good with it. Yeah, I'm fine.
Maybe Madhavi is having an issue, and
Yeah, I have, but weekends, evenings is difficult for me. If it is morning US time,
mm, mm,
I think it works for me.
got it, got it. So
And how long will be the class, like on
it,
weekends?
on weekends, it will be 2 hours each day.
2 hours. Okay.
2 hours. And as usual, recordings will be provided on the platform. I'll also show how our platform looks like if you guys aren't aware of. So it's a very
Yeah.
beautiful platform. We upgraded it to a new system. Assignments, source codes, everything will be available on the platform. You will be provided with login credentials soon. So even students who are not registered yet, just try to text me, guys. Uh, text me and try to register yourself by completing the fee structure. I hope you guys know the fee and all. If you want to know more details about the fee, just try to contact me on WhatsApp, right? And if we have any new students and if they have any queries, then you are free to ask. We have some students who said they have some queries to raise in the class, right? So you guys are free to ask. And over to you, Basha sir. Basha sir is our instructor. He will be leading the classes. He is the guy with more than 15 plus years of experience, having a senior software role in major company here in India, right? So yeah, he will be leading the classes. This is our fifth batch, guys, to be precise. For Java, this is our fifth class. All classes were conducted in the same way, but for this class, we want to bring on some more uh, details so that people get more used to mock interviews and all, right? And we also have some placement partners who are connected to us, who partnered with us for this batch. So if you guys are regular with the classes and if you guys are interested, then based on your progress with mock interviews, regular classes, right, we will connect you with those placement people, and they will take care of your marketing with vendors and placement and all. So it's not a staffing company. It's a place. It's someone who helps our students, trains our students, and help with their resumes and all, and then try to place them. So it's not a staffing company, just like some other people ask. It's not a staffing company. It's completely free. Only top students who are regular with the classes will be recommended to that consultancy, right? So fine, guys. So let's start the class. Basha sir, it's over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Noor.
I have one question. Can I ask?
Yeah, please.
Uh,
Yes, yes.
um, will these course cover the high level design also, like some of the concepts, caching, authentication, API gateways? Is all concepts.
API gateway and caching we cover. So when I start, like when we reach to this Hibernate part, like when we start Spring Boot, right? API gateway. So how can we develop a web services? How to perform operations? Caching mechanism, exactly like what is the caching mechanism? How to implement? So does it really required in every requirement or every code, whatever we required? I mean, what is it is required? This part we required. So API gateway, I need to see because like it's not an open source basically. So I need to see how can I present in the sense I can share more details how exactly in API we handle in the sense in real time we handle that API gateway pattern and all. So APG in the sense like if you are new today, if you have not gone through the syllabus what we have shared already. So this batch, like I have introduced one more new concept along with the Spring Boot, REST web services, APG. So that is similar to the query what you are expecting in the sense. So we'll see how much I can, but we'll give an overview on that. So until and unless it's open source, so I can go to present, I can take one example and I can just give like what is the entry point, what is the exit point in that particular module.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now-
So some of the HLD concepts will be covered, right?
Mhm.
Just want to have a
Yes,
clarity on that one. Thank you.
Yeah, Nalini, text me on WhatsApp. I will share the syllabus with you. So my number.
I
Okay.
I got from Praveen, but there I just saw like very high level syllabus kind.
Okay. Yeah.
But I'll connect with you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Sure, sir. Good to go.
Yeah.
And guys, during the class, feel free to use the chat section if you guys have any queries. Don't let your queries sit back to yourself itself, right? So when you solve your queries right now, it will be easy for you as we progress in the course. So it's better to solve the basic queries as well, right? So make sure you post your queries in the chat section and feel free to have a conversation with the instructor.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, no sir. I will take it over. Okay. So I'll just extend two more points here. So once we dig into actual syllabus, so now we are in basics. Once we start actual programming, so post now data types, operators, like once we start control statements. Okay, so I'll start giving assignments every day. So based on your availability, in a sense, the expectation is, yeah, you need to cover at least in a week time. You need to connect, complete, and share the details through me in a mail. We share the mail also to you. Okay. So based on the assignment and based on how you take the progress from our end, so the idea is to take the mock interviews. So the mock interviews will keep on communicate based on our progress and based on the interview. Like if someone asks, I need to go and I have an interview scheduled, but I don't know like how to present myself. I'm applying for a senior position, but somehow I lost my interviews here. I failed here. So if such kind of a queries, if you want, like I have some nervousness, I know the concept, but I don't know how to present. So these are all the solutions of a mock interview, how you need to present yourself, even though you know the subject well compared to others. That is one thing. And how do you need to, in a sense, if a recruiter is asks any query, so how do you need to present yourself? Like how much part you need to explain theoretically, how much part you need to present in a coding snippet. I mean, this is purely for those who are two types of students I'm seeing regularly from first batch. So one is non-tech background to tech background, meaning is they want to shift to IT industry in the sense like in a programming. That is one area where more students like from marketing to IT or different domains. Second is different platforms. It's nothing but from SAP Labs, from SAP, yeah, from .NET or from other areas. They want to shift to Java. Okay, due to huge demand, or we can say like a multiple factors on programming interest, right? So most of them they don't know how to answer a query basically, even though sometimes we know very well that, but we don't know like till what point we need to go and we need to present. Okay, these all things, small things which impacts heavily sometimes. So all those things we are capturing and like we are conducting from this batch as extra thing as a unique way. for this mock interviews. Just utilize it properly. The prerequisite for taking the mock interview is your assignment. Assignment, your availability in the live classes. Okay. So once you are done with it, so definitely we'll pull you in a mock interview, in the sense like if you are interested and if you are a guy who are looking for a good position, and if you want to try to switch from one company to other company, so all these things will help you. Okay. Yeah. Let us start. Then I'm sharing a screen. Okay, till last class, if anyone remember, so what we covered is, so we covered, so two sessions we had. So one is like history, and like setup, what is the version we need to pick it up, and like what is the execution flow of a Java program. After that second session, we have started like what are the basic steps towards programming, in the sense like if you want to write a program, what are the points we need to cover, in the sense what are the standards we need to take it up. Okay, first part, comments we discussed. Second thing is like we discussed about the packages, like what is the role of packages in Java, how packages will help the developer or a programmer to design any program. Okay, so once this is done, right? So comments and importing a package. So two packages we discussed. I mean, two classes we discussed. This is one, and this is one. Two things we discussed. Okay, so now let us just discuss more about that. So this is a coding part we just discussed about this. Okay, so now here, if you see, let us discuss more about this one. Okay, so now this is a class. So naming convention. So if I take a naming convention, so class name should be always start with uppercase. We discussed this in last second session. So what is a class and what is object? What is exactly object-oriented programming? Like why we call object-oriented programming to any programming language? What is an object basically? What are the examples of an object? What is a class name? And what is the difference between class and object? We discussed the last. Okay. So this is one naming convention. And method name should start with lowercase. Lowercase. Lowercase method name, in the sense like our coding standard itself tells during the review of your code, right? Easily like architect or a lead will identify like how much standards you are implementing in your code. For example, so here we can say this is a main method. So method names are camel cases also. Camel cases is nothing but if you want to perform some operation. So like sum of, you see, right? Sum of, whoa, whoa. This is one word. Now second word, sum of, so two numbers. This is a camel case. So the standard of a method name should start with a lowercase. Always it should start with lowercase. Okay, so even if you see, right, this is a built-in method. This is a built-in method. I have not written. In the sense I just used here. Okay, so what if I will not follow the standard here? Now main method, this is a built-in method. When I say built-in method, predefined method, which is already provided by the JavaSoft people. Okay, so we are providing some standards. You need to follow the same syntax. That is the rule. Otherwise, things will not work. Okay, so what happens? So you just observe here what happens in the IDE. Now what happens if I remove here? I'm just removing this. I'm just keeping here. There is no difference for now. Okay, so now if I keep here, now there is a little bit icon. There is a green icon you are able to see, right? So now again, like this is in different font also. So blue font, orange font, and all. Okay, so now I will just change the point. Now I will just change. Now you see. Now if I change here, so what happens? It is little bit gray. So whenever you are seeing this type of a font, right? So the meaning of this is when you go for execution, in the sense whenever you execute the program, compiler will clearly ignore your program. Like JVM will ignore your program during the execution. So what happens if I use this? I'm just writing this. I'm just running this. I don't see any run also here now. I cannot execute the program. Okay, forcefully, I'm using another option. Now you see, What happens if I'm using this? Now you see what happens here. So main method not found in a welcome message. So please define main method. So this is, you see, right? Please define main method. This is very important, method. So now in your standalone programs, basically whenever you are writing, developing any Java programs, the standards is equally important. Like if JavaSoft has designed some standards, we need to follow. Okay, that is, rule is a rule. We need to follow. That is a rule. So now here for us, this is a rule. So main, we need to add like that only. So now when I'm running this, right, when I'm running, I'm not able to understand two types of errors also we discussed the last time. So Java compiler we discussed, like Java runtime environment we discussed, how Java compiler and Java runtime coordinate with Java virtual machine during your execution of the program. That also we discussed. Okay. So now let us say, so now I want to execute this program by modifying the standard. I will not follow the rule here. Let us see what type of exception it will give. For now, I'm able to see this. Yes, if you are not following the standard, definitely you will get the error. But what type of error this is? What type of this is error? Who caught this error? Java, JVM, JRE caught this exception, or Java compiler. These two are different tools, and each and every tool is having their own unique responsibility that we discussed during the execution flow of the program. So just to revise, during the execution flow of the program, what we did, what is the role of Java compiler? Java compiler will take the source code, which is starts with .java, compiles, okay, so generates into .class file. What does it mean by .class file? .class file is a file which has bytecode instructions. Now, to whom these bytecode instructions refer or required to? Meaning is, these bytecode instructions are for JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Why? Java Virtual Machine will take these bytecode instructions and convert to machine language instructions. So when it converts to machine language instructions, your platform will identify and will give the program output. When I say platform, it's a combination of your operating system plus hardware you are using. This is what the flow. In the sense, we need to repeat this we need to repeat this is multiple times, because like until and unless we don't know how exactly your program internal hierarchy will work, it's very good basically. So we need to think always like how this program will work internally. What are the tools provided by the JavaSoft as part of the kit will help. Now let us go back. Now come back, like this is one way. Now let us identify what type of exception this is. Like if I modify here, now I am just changing here. Okay, this is one thing. Now come back. Now let us use. From here, I'm not able to understand what type of error this is. System itself it is giving, but it is difficult for me. This error, whether Java compiler has given or JVM has given. Let us try to dig and let us try to understand. Okay, so now this is my right. So now let us move CD source, change directory to source, because all my details are available in source here. Okay, this one source. So now just give ls to confirm whether your .java files are available. Yes, .java files are available. So now let us see. Java C. I'm just recompiling the program again. I'm just trying to understand who is giving that exception if you are not following the rule in terms of a main method. Now execute it. Now you see, we don't have any issue with the Java compiler. Java compiler does not mean Java compiler doesn't look into this main method. So we don't have any compile time exception. The meaning is, so Java compiler is good with this, even though you are not following a standard, like you are changing the main method for a different case letters. He's not bothering. Yes, he generated the .class file. Now let us see. So first step is done. Second step, we need to take it up. Yeah, I'm just running. When I'm saying this, I'm running the program. Meaning is, I am calling JVM to execute this program and present the output in the console. That's what the meaning. So now I'm calling JVM to execute this. So welcome message. Okay. So now you hit it. Now what happened here? Font is different, but error message is same in both the cases. Now, the meaning here is main method is not found in class. Welcome message. So please define the main method. If you are writing this method like this only, then only your program will work. Otherwise, it's a runtime exception, we can say. It's not a compile time exception, it's a runtime exception. Why? Because compiled, when I'm saying compile time exception, Java compiler will take, but Java compiler does not have any issue, even if you are following this type. But to execute your program, when I say to execute your program, meaning is to run your program, JVM will always looks this one. Will always looks. So let us go back. Now let us go back. So now anyhow it is saying, so JVM need to understand public static void main. What if I interchange, just to revise, those are new right here. So now you see, right? So those who are attending the first class, whatever orange font you are seeing, right? These are all reserved words. Reserved words is nothing but the keywords. Keywords. You need to use that one. Again, the naming convention is reserved or keywords. Reserved words always be in or always start with lowercase. Lowercase. Example, like a public, we can say. So static, we can say. Okay, so now void we can say for now. Okay, so now again class. Class is also reserved word. Now you see if you take all our orange font here, the meaning of orange font is reserved words. Now let us see. So now JVM is saying you need to follow this pattern. So what if I will change the pattern here? Now you go here. Okay, so now I'm going to change this one. Okay, so now static public I'm just changing here. Okay, so just observe here. Observe here. Still, I'm able to see this green icon. Meaning is JVM still available in our program. Meaning is, yeah, still it supports. Even though you interchange the keywords, interchange static public, it works. So let us see here. So now anyhow, even though you change it, right? Always you need to recompile. Yeah, recompile your program because there is a change of the position here. So now you can execute. So you see, right? So the meaning of here is, if you interchange this, there is no issue. There is no issue. So static comes first, yes. Public comes later, or in other case, public comes first, static will comes. So what if I change this? So yeah, this it's working. In two cases we have seen it worked. Okay. So now just let me come back here. Okay. So now you see. Changed. Again, I'm just moving to original position. It worked here. Now, what if I change this return type? Okay, now let us see. What does it mean by void? Now, each and every method. So each and every method has return type. Return type. What is a method basically? Okay, so you can just, for now, if you don't know anything, you can just go with the definition type one-liner blindly. Once we start exactly in object-oriented concepts, right, we'll discuss more on like exactly what is method. So why we required a method. But for now, what you can do, what is a method? Okay, so to perform, method is used to perform operation. So how it perform operation? Either to take input values in the sense I want to perform a plus b, in the sense I want to perform 2 plus 5. So 2 and 5 is my input. Okay, either to take input values or just execute the result. Always I don't require parameters. I don't require. So some parameters I will take from other area, in the sense from other class or other area. So now then what is method? In the sense, if you want to give a definition perspective, basically method is used to perform some kind of an operation. Okay, some operation. So whether that is a sum of two numbers, or if you want to perform any arithmetic operation, or if you want to perform, so whether a candidate is eligible for what I can say. So government to apply the ID, or to apply a driving license, or to buy anything. So whatever the calculation you can take, right? Like we can use the method. Now here, so each and every method has a return type. What does it mean by return type? Returns the value. Okay, what is return type? Return type is nothing but after performing after performing the operation, basically, so you will get a result, right? So whenever we are performing operation, definitely there will be a result. That result will be your return type. After performing an operation, so result is nothing but return type. Again, here we have take this. So what is the return types? Basically, different return types. I'll just go for the multiple return types we have. But for now, what you can do, you can just take void is my return type. Okay. So what does it mean by void? Void is a return type. Return type. The meaning of void is nothing. Meaning is it simply executes. It simply perform the operation, but it will not return anything. That's what I said. So beginning also, it is not mandatory that always method to return the result. No, not required. Not required. So in that case, we can go with the void method. So void, the meaning of void is nothing. You just execute the operation, move on. That's it. Okay. So now what I will do, as part of our discussion, I will just interchange the places. Now I'll keep void friend. Okay, I'll keep void friend. So now I see, right? So if I change this, all of a sudden I'm able to see this red font. Now red font I'm able to see. So red font is nothing but what happens? The problem with your program. I don't see. Let me just clear the spaces also. Only one space I'm just keeping. Okay, like as earlier. So now here also, if you take, yes, we don't have. Now let us see what happens when I compile this program. So at least now compiler will bother about your programming standards. Let us see. Okay, I changed here. Now again, compile. Or let me just use this. Compile it. Now you see what happens. Now what happens here? Now compiler is active. Now immediately it gives the message. So what is this? Expected. Expected is something, there is a problem of organizing your main method. Now you see, right? Invalid method declaration. Return type required. Meaning is you have return type here. This is the return type which we discussed just now. But the problem is, where do you need to write a return type? What is the syntax of the method? Now come back. The syntax of the method, whatever the method you write, right? So this is the syntax. Return type. Okay. So method name. Okay. Again, like how can I differentiate a method? Always open and close. Open and close. So for example, void sum of two numbers. So now this is my pattern. If I say this is called method name. Now this is a return type. After that, now if I want anything here. So if I want, for now we are just discussing about the main. So we can take this like this. If you are passing any value here, that is nothing but input parameter. Somehow you are passing the parameter to that method, which is necessary. Okay, we'll discuss more on this input parameters and all. But just try to understand what is exactly a method, what is the syntax. Always this is the standard syntax. Whatever the method you call, whether that is a core, enterprise, standalone application, web application, wherever you go, if you are developing any method or if you are using the built-in method already provided by the Java API, now this is the syntax you need to always use. Otherwise, your program will not work. The same thing, the same error, it will trigger you. So two coding snippets we discussed, which is very important. Okay. So the meaning is, from this, we got to know this. You can interchange the position of public and static, but you cannot disturb the return type. Okay. So now come back.
Quick question.
Yes.
So, like, to come to a conclusion, like now we got a compilation error, right? So if there is a syntax error, it gives a compilation error, and if it's not a syntax error, it gives while
During the execution of your program.
oh, so is it correct? Am I
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That my next point is this one only. So if you see, right, like if you have any compilation or syntax error in your program, the Java compiler always looks for the standards here, very strict standards. So whether your class name starts with uppercase, 3 to 4 points we have written here. Now the meaning is Java compiler, if I want to make it easy way, there should be no syntactical or standard errors in your source code. Source code is whatever the program you have written. There should no syntactical error. If there is a syntactical error, immediately Java compiler will caught and will provide this is the error in your program. Go and check. Go and check. That's what it is saying. 11. Java 11. If you go here, what is this 11? The 11 line number. Now invalid method declaration, return type is required. So you have interchanged. Somehow you have modified, not following the syntax properly. So this is how Java compiler role will come back. Okay.
The question is like, I do have one there. Like, yeah, we got understanding about Java compiler and the Java execution. But can you give us an example, like what is the purpose? Like, by even just running Java, we can see the error, right? Even initially, without running Java C or, Java, just while executing itself, we can see the error. But what is the
Yes.
purpose like then?
Her purpose is like that's what. Okay. I mean that I already have explained just to go back here. So now if I'm going here now, I'm just showing the same example. I will just take you. So forget about this terminal and all. Okay. So now I'm just trying to execute directly here. I don't know first program I'm typing here. So just let me just modify this. Now when I'm executing this, so now are you sure that what type of exception this is? In the sense,
Oh, okay. Now I do see the error here. I don't see the error. I couldn't identify. Okay.
yeah, that's what. In the sense, like we need to be in a justify that. So what type of exception? Now this is a standalone. I'll just give a real-time use case. So once your product release it to production, in the sense, yesterday somehow hotfix or a production release, you in the sense all your code into live. So users are started using the application. But some users got some products, some product is not working as expected. Page itself, it is not loading. Somehow they are facing the issue. Now they will create a ticket, like a support ticket using Salesforce or some kind of a mechanism. They are reaching out to the internal team for a support that somehow I'm not using. Now support team will start and analyzing. So why this issue got? This is a debugging step. Is nothing but so what type of, in the sense they need to justify their support ticket, why you are causing this issue, why you are facing this issue, what type of exception this is a issue, like this. Is it a role based issue or a data issue or any server issue or a network issue? So this is one type of this one. Okay. So when you execute this, basically, so we need to identify that why this exception caught and who caught this exception. That is very important. Who? Always who? Two types, like a Java compiler or a JVM. Compile time exception, runtime exception. Any further queries?
Oh, no. Yeah. So, okay. Nothing. Yeah.
So let me just go back here. Now this is one. So now what is public? Public is access specifier, we can say. So we have multiple access specifiers like public, private, like protected and default. We'll discuss more on that. But for now, what you can do, you can make this as public. Public is nothing but why we are writing a public is nothing but this program makes itself available for JVM. JVM. Okay. So why? Because JVM is outside of the Java compiler as per the hierarchy, as per the architecture. If you are not giving public here, access specifier, JVM will unable to access your program. So if I don't give public, what happens? What happens? Run it. So you see, right? So main method is not found, unable to execute your program because this is missing. This is missing again. Okay. So now let me just go back. Now come back. Now somehow I'm disturbing. I'm just getting more knowledge. This is one-liner only, but this one-liner will give more information if I go in a parts wise, like a debug, like why this is required, why that is not required, why is this so much important to execute in a program like that. Now you see, right? Public we discussed. So main method is not static in class name. Please define main method as this one. So whenever you are changing or trying to modify the rules right here, architecture will not execute that program. Okay. So now, for now, you can consider here is what is a static? Now, static is a keyword. Okay. So first, even public is also all are keywords only first. After that, they are having their own roles here. So where I say void is a keyword first. After that, void meaning is, this is the second stage is, what is his role? This is acting as a return type to any method. Now his job is, like the job of void is nothing. Don't return anything. You just execute your program based on your method call. Now this is the class. Class is a reserved word. So what is the role here? So whenever you are creating a class, you need to use this reserved word. Now come back here. Now what does it mean by static? So static first. Static is a keyword, okay, that we discussed multiple times. Now, what is the main purpose of static for now? So now if you don't want to create object and execute the class directly, then static keyword or a concept will help. What is the static keyword? Static keyword is used to execute a program without using a concept of object here. Object. I don't have any object, right? I don't have any object. Still, I'm getting the output. I don't have any object. Okay. For now, what you can do, without creating an object, you can execute your program with the help of static. Now, this is a return type. Now, this is a method name. Now, let us come back here. This is what we can say. This is arguments. Okay. Arguments. ARGS stands for arguments, like a string argument. This is a string. String is one of the data type, okay, available in Java. Now, what does it mean by here? So what is the difference between this and this? Let me just, two types of symbols we have. Okay. So now I have written like this. Okay. So now I have one more notation here like this. What is the difference between these two? So if you see this, right? If you see like this is nothing but method. Now, if you see like this, square brackets, meaning is this is nothing but array. We can call it as a string type array. How can I pronounce it? Main method will be always have an argument which is of type string. So string type of array. So what happens if I change now? Now let us just try to modify. Let us more explore here. Now I will change this args here. Okay, I'll just give test. So do you see any red font here? Any issue from the compiler? I don't think, right? I don't see. I don't see now for now. So let us just execute this right now directly. Now you see? So we don't have any issue. So even if you are renaming your organization, in the sense parameter, the meaning of this is string args, ARGS. String args. The meaning of this is one type of a variable which is not mandatory to be always with the name called ARGS. This is a standard they have given, but we have flexibility to give as a user-defined name. That is one important thing. But what if I will remove this totally? Okay. So now again, now you go here. Now you see, right? Identifier is better. The meaning of this is, so you can go your arguments with a user defined, but should be one parameter. Should be the parameter. This is the data type, but where is the value actually? So it will not work again. So now this is a compile time exception only, but very important, this understanding of this compile time exception, runtime exception, what are the different types of exceptions which we face regularly. So assume that, right, like whenever you go in a production, especially, so major release, minor release, most of the tickets, most of the Salesforce tickets or support tickets will come due to these exceptions only. So whenever we develop any program or any web application, we need to be carefully define or handle the exception handling mechanism clearly. That's how
So,
we can do that.
question.
Yeah.
So should we run the Java compiler all the time? Like, now we got this error, right? So why didn't we run Java C and then Java? Because
It is not mandatory. Yeah. Whenever you are executing in IDE, right, like this, it is not mandatory. Your IDE will automatically compile your program. After that, it executes. Java compiler is inbuilt. When you execute your Java program, that's what I have shown in first session, if you remember. So Java compiler is part of your Java development kit here. Okay, JDK. So when you go here, right, Java compiler, it is not always mandatory to go with first compile, execute. No, that is not mandatory. But when you are learning in any programming language, in the beginning stages, for understanding purpose, you can go this way. But whenever you are doing, right, when you're clicking this, two activities are happening here. One, Internally, first it compiles your program. After that, if everything is smooth and fine, then it will give the output. Any query here?
No, that's it. No, yeah, I'm
That's
good.
it, right? Okay. It is not mandatory to always compile your program first, after that execute your program. No. When this is the advantage of using IDE, integrated development environment. Why are we using integrated development environment? Like IDE is like a popular IDEs like IntelliJ, like Eclipse, we have say like PyCharm IDEs, like WebStorm IDs. Like why is nothing but it will reduce most of the burden from the developers. It will provide more flexibility in the sense you just concentrate on your coding. You just concentrate on your work. Rest we will take care. That's how IDEs will work. So for example, now we are discussing about a small coding snippet, but how IDE is working is, so this you once you configure the project in the IDE, right? So internally it will take care everything here. So when you run, multiple activities internally will happen. But as a programmer, I don't bother about how internally execution is happening. I don't want. Java software will take it up. But as a programmer or a developer, I need output, whether this program is fine, meeting as per my requirements or not. So now,
Another question, like, in the brackets, right? We have written string and args. You mentioned like those brackets meaning params. So could we call that as params?
we can call this as a string array parameter. So
Oh,
main method always expect string type array parameter, or you can say argument also. Argument, any it depends upon the naming or a wording or a terminology we can use, but this should be a string type array parameter. We can say this one. Okay, so I can call this as a main method should have a string type array parameter or a string argument also. String type argument, simple. So now come back here. So now we have changed this, right? So now I have changed it to this one, but still it worked. So what if change this one? So now I will remove this. I don't want this one. So what happens? So this is little bit changed. The font color is little bit grayed here. Now execute it. What happens? Now you see, still again, this is a runtime exception. Meaning is JVM is not allowing to execute your program because somehow standards are mismatching here. Now keep this. So the meaning is like these are all important in the sense we need or we should follow all those things. Now this is one type. Now come back. Now I will change the data type. I'll just explain in tomorrow's session what are the data types Java will support. But for your understanding, you can just consider string is one type data type. Okay. So like that, we have some more data types. I will just take int. Okay. I'll just take int. The meaning of int is integer. Integer, what does it mean by integer? Integer is nothing but so numerical numbers, numerical like 10, comma 12, comma 14, 15, numerical integers which do not have decimal values. Decimal values is like this 121.45. So this is nothing but your decimal. So this no support or int will not support decimal values. No, it will not support. So int will support. Int, what I can call int is a data type. Int will support numerical values. Now let us change. We'll discuss more on this tomorrow. Okay. So now come back here. Now I changed this one. So we discussed rule is a rule. Now what is the rule? It says main method should always have a string type argument or a string type of a parameter or a string array parameter. Now what happens? Now copy, execute. Now still it is not allowing. So the meaning here is we need to write. We need to follow string, always string only. If you want output, you follow the rule as per the standards and execute it. So now one more way. What happens? I will just take here. Now I will just remove this. Okay. I will just remove this. Now what I will do? Just 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 3 dots I have given. Okay, 3 dots. So let us see. Now, when I give these 3 dots, right, I don't see any, in the sense, still I see this green font. Now, I don't see any compilation error. There is no red font. Now, there is no gray color also here. All are working perfectly here. So what does it mean here? So whether it will work? So I'll just execute and show you two ways here. First, let us go here. I modified. Now, instead of this, let me just go back here. Instead of this, now I am using this. 3 dots I'm using. So what happens if I increase or decrease? Let us see here, 3 dots, right? Now let me increase this. Okay, if I increase, again I'm getting red font. Okay, no, so there is no option to increase dot. Now remove this. Now come back. Now decrease it. So even if you increase the dot or decrease the dot, somehow your program is getting disturbed here. Different font colors is providing by your IDE. Now come back, whether it will work or not. Now execute this. Now compile. Okay, compile it. Let us see whether it will work. Any issue from the compiler or not. Let us see. Now compile it. No issues. It successfully generated bytecode instructions. I mean dot class file. Now come back. Execute it. So the meaning is, so how many ways you can write a main method? How many ways you can execute a standalone program with the main method? One way is use this pattern, string type array. Now use this one, ellipses we can call. This 3 dots is nothing but ellipses. Ellipses. In real time, if I want to say, let's see. So one of the student has a teacher or a school or whoever. So they will ask some students like, can you write or can you do a assignment for today? So the tables, if you take tables like 2 to 20 or 1 to 100 basically. So usually in real time what we say, so just write the numbers from 1 to 100. So 1 to 100 is, I will not represent here. I will just give some limit here. So the meaning of this limit is, people who are reading this, the meaning is, this is my limit it will support. So how to represent that limit? This is the one. So if I go in a programming terminology, what does it mean? This is nothing but ellipses we can call. A series of dots is nothing but ellipses. Now the range is only 3 dots unit. This is one more flexibility where JVM allows to execute your program. Post JDK 1.5 version, they brought this facility also. One way is nothing but one way. If you don't want, you can, there is no functionality behind this. There is no functionality. This is just a flexibility provided to the developer. If you don't want array type, yeah, you can just still go ahead with this dot ellipsis. Okay. So yeah, any queries?
So if main method is the starting point, why do we need the parameters to this method?
That's what I'm saying, right?
So
Main method is a starting point, correct? Yeah, you can
do we send the parameters from anywhere?
Right. But that's what we are not going to send any parameters for now. We are not sending any parameters, but that's how they have developed it. It's nothing but if you are not providing any parameters inside to the main method, your program will never work. In the sense, rule is a rule. Some rules we are following real time, right? I need to go this direction only. I should not break the rule if I don't get any action. That's what I'm saying. This is a rule number one, which we need to follow. If you are passing parameters to somewhere, or if you are using parameters, that's the second case. But this is how you need to use. For now, forget about this one, like whether we are receiving the values or passing the values, input parameters. You can forget that. In upcoming sessions, I'll just explain what is the importance if I go like this. So do we have some use case? What is the basically importance of this? We'll discuss about that. But for now, you can just consider this. Yes, if my program should work successfully and give me the result, then this is how I need to follow blindly. Okay. Yep, that's it for today's session. Okay. So tomorrow we'll discuss like what is tomorrow we'll go and we'll discuss like what are the different types of variables we have. Okay. So what is basically a data type? So how to store that? How can we say what type of data we need to store. Okay, so post that, so we'll perform some operations. I mean, I'll just come back to this concept again. What is the importance of this? Okay, either I can cover tomorrow or in operator session, so which is followed to data types. So there I'll just bring what is exact, what is it, what is exact. So exactly when I can use these arcs. Right now we are not using any arcs here, but if there is a need to use these arcs, so do I have any use case for that? So in real time, do we implement on that? So exactly how can I use this value? I'll just explain that either in tomorrow session or operators session. If anyone is having any other queries, yeah, we can utilize chat or you can just ask me here.
Yeah, guys, feel free to unmute yourself and have a chat with the instructor. And meanwhile, I will show you the demonstration of how the recordings will be uploaded. I will hardly take 1 minute of your time, right? So, sir, can you grant me the access, the host access?
Yeah, sure. Let me allow you. Yeah.
Feel free to use the chat section, guys. Is my screen visible? Anyone in the chat section?
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, guys, after registering with the course, as said, you guys know the fee details, right? It is $250 for this entire course, and we expect you to pay the first half of this $250, that is $125, to register with the course. So you convert it into Indian rupees. We expect around 11,500 rupees for the first installment to register with the course and start with our classes. So once you register with the course, once you pay the first half, you get the login credentials to access our platform. So from next class onwards, that means for our registered students, when we start the classes, all classes will happen on our platform. There will be no Zoom link shared. So the Zoom link which you are using, that will be depreciated in future. We expect our students to attend our classes on our platform. So once you register with the course, we provide you login credentials. Using those login credentials, you can access our Plural Labs platform, and there you have on the dashboard, you have the class that you are enrolled to. So this is one of our students who is registered to another course, but I'm just giving you the demo. So here, once you log in, you see the courses that you are registered with. So when you click on join class button, then you will be directed towards the live class that we conduct every day, right, to our live classes. So just one click and there is no need of Zoom installation and all, redirection to Zoom and all classes will happen on the Plural Labs platform. And to watch the recordings of every class, you have to click on this enter class button, and then once you click on enter class, you will be directed towards our recordings. So here, if you observe to our left side, we have all 6 recordings that were completed in this particular class, in this particular course, and these recordings are available to your left side. So you have to access those recordings by clicking on each class, and all these recordings are private to our registered students. They are not available to the public. They are just private to our registered students, and all recordings will be available here. And if you observe beneath these recordings, you will be having study notes, that is the material that is specially created for the class, and the source code that is being practiced during the class. Whatever the instructor teaches you during the class, the entire source code files will be uploaded here, and the assignment, that is what instructor was discussing about. So all the assignments will be uploaded in this section, right? And you can also make your private notes and explore the recordings and all. So these recordings will be available for the lifetime. So there is no limit on till when these recordings will be available, right? So even after the course, even while going through your jobs and interviews, you can always go through these recordings at any point of time. There is no limit to the availability of these recordings, right? So this is how the classes are conducted and these recordings are available. So if you have any queries, you can post in the chat section or unmute yourself to discuss. And I hope the fee structure is clear. I also shared my WhatsApp number in the chat section, so you guys can contact me to know more about this, right? So over to you, sir. If you have any technical questions, then feel free to raise. That's it.
Yeah, I don't have anything for today. Yeah, very
Okay.
good.
So if you guys have no questions regarding the class or the platform, you guys are free to leave, guys. So I have like few new students, so you can contact me to register with the course, right? So now you are free to leave. And for the registered students, you will soon get the credentials from me to your WhatsApp numbers. I'll soon create a group and start adding you to the group.